Today, we're diving into the psychology of our digital selves. We're going to ask a really simple question. Why isn't the person you are online the same person you are in the real world?
I mean, think about it for a second. Have you ever typed something in a comment section that you would never, ever say to someone's face? Or maybe, on the flip side, you've shared something super personal with a bunch of strangers in a forum. There's a powerful psychological reason for all of this.
You've got these behaviors that seem like total opposites, right? On one end, you have extreme aggression, and on the other, incredible vulnerability. And it all comes down to the unique environment the internet creates inside our heads.
So let's dive in. To really get a handle on the online you, we first need to put a name to what's actually happening to us whenever we're behind that screen. And this is it, the Online Disinhibition Effect. This term was actually coined way back in 2004 by a psychologist named Dr. John Suler. He was the first one to really build a framework for why the normal filters we have, the brakes we put on our behavior in public, they just seem to disappear online.
What's so fascinating is that this isn't just one thing. Suler pointed out that there are 6 key factors that all mix together, kind of like a psychological recipe for this effect. So let's break them down. Okay, this chart basically lays out the whole recipe. First up, you've got anonymity. That's the you don't know me factor. It just cuts the cord to any real-world consequences. Then there's invisibility. You can't see me, so you don't have to watch someone's face fall when you say something cruel. Asynchronicity, or see you later, lets you drop a comment and just walk away. It's like an emotional hit and run. Solipsistic introjection is a weird one. It's when you read someone's text in your own voice, making it feel more like you're just talking to yourself. And finally, you've got this sense that it's just a game, where real rules don't matter. And that online, we're all equals, which gets rid of the fear of, getting in trouble with a boss or an authority figure. So here's the crucial point. This whole effect, it's not automatically a bad thing. Those 6 factors can push us in 2 very, very different directions.
On one hand, you get what's called benign disinhibition. The same anonymity and invisibility that fuels trolls, well, it also lets someone who's struggling with an illness or exploring their identity find a support community and share things they'd be terrified to say out loud. But then there's the other side, toxic disinhibition. This is where those exact same factors unleash cyberbullying, hate speech, and organized harassment. Psychologists sometimes call it blind catharsis. People are just venting aggression without any real resolution.
And the scale of this toxic side? It's staggering. Get this. Research shows that a shocking 44.6% of adults admit to carrying out some kind of cyber dating abuse. We're talking constant digital monitoring or just direct online aggression towards a partner. It really shows you how normalized this stuff has become.
Research also gives us a pretty clear picture of who is most drawn to this toxic behavior. It's often people with what psychologists call the dark triad of personality traits. That's narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism. For them, the internet becomes this perfect, low-risk way to get revenge or exert control in a way they'd never dare to offline. It perfectly captures that old saying, giants on the internet, cowards in real life.
But here's the thing. Suler's theory came out in 2004. That's a totally different internet era. Today, this effect isn't just happening on its own. Nope. It's being put on steroids by a powerful modern force, social media algorithms.
This right here is the engine of the modern toxic web. See, an algorithm's only job is to maximize engagement. And what gets us to engage the most? Outrage, fear, conflict. So when a disinhibited user posts something inflammatory, the algorithm blasts it out to a massive audience. That user then gets a huge rush of validation from all the likes and shares, which just reinforces the bad behavior. The platform is essentially rewarding incivility. And you've got to add another modern problem to the mix: context collapse. In real life, you act differently around your boss than you do with your best friend. But online, they're all in the same audience. This can make people afraid to be vulnerable, which suppresses the good side of disinhibition. But when it comes to public shaming, it's a massive accelerant, spreading attacks way beyond their original home.
And what you end up with is what sociologists call banal toxicity. That's what happens when people see all this toxic behavior being amplified, but they're too afraid to step in because they think the mob might turn on them next. Hostility stops being shocking, and it just becomes the background noise of the internet. It becomes normal.
And the newest frontier in all this is our interaction with AI. The disinhibition effect is even stronger here.
I mean, we know there isn't a human on the other end, which just cranks up factors like invisibility and asynchronicity. Psychologists worry that if we practice being abusive to an AI that can't feel pain, it could actually wear down our real-world empathy. And while it might feel safe to talk about trauma with an AI therapist, these bots can offer this false, validating empathy that might dangerously reinforce harmful beliefs, all while looking like clinical support.
Okay, so this all sounds pretty bleak, I know. But the good news is we are not powerless here. There are clear, actionable things we can do to fight back against this effect.
First, the platforms themselves need to get smarter. For years, their goal was frictionless design. Now, experts are calling for good friction. Just little bumps in the road to make us pause. This could be a simple prompt that asks, "Are you sure you want to post that?" Or making people actually click on an article before they can share the outrageous headline. It's all about disrupting that impulsive emotional reaction.
And second, it's not just about smarter platforms, it's about us becoming smarter users. This all falls under what's called digital citizenship. It means actively practicing digital empathy, making a real effort to remember there's a person with feelings behind every single username. It's about pausing to think about the ripple effects of our posts, and crucially, having the self-awareness to know when our emotions are running high and it's time to just step away from the keyboard.
At the end of the day, the problems with the internet are not destiny. They are design choices, and so are our own actions. By understanding the forces that push us toward our worst selves online, we get the power to consciously choose a different path. The internet is a reflection of us, so the final question is ours to answer.